All right. Today I am so excited. I am actually here with a client of mine and the general manager of the JW Marriott Houston Downtown. His name is Jelle Vanderbroucke. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Yeah, fair enough. Let's go with Vanderbroucke, but I love the way you say it. Absolutely.
Thank you, Jelle, for your graciousness. Jelle has been with the JW Marriott Houston Downtown for the last 5 years. And prior to that, he had experience with Four Seasons, including locations such as Los Angeles, Seattle, and Boston. But Jelle, you are originally from Belgium. So I love that you bring an international perspective to this podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if Belgium says anything much about flowers or anything. Obviously, Holland is close by with the tulips, but yes, originally from Belgium, born and raised, started traveling when I was about 18, 19 years old, and never looked back. So here we are in Houston, yes.
Well, we definitely have the hospitality industry in common as well as our wanderlust. But probably the thing we share most in common is that we have been working together now almost 4 years. I've been your in-house floral designer for the JW, and it's been something that I've been very, very proud of. What would you say is your best advice for creating a strong and long-term partnership between a hotel and the florist?
Um, Maybe backtrack a little bit. That florist is different from any other vendor that you have in a hotel, right? And a vendor that delivers linen or delivers steaks, it's a product. There's a certain quality that you look for. I think a florist is about building a relationship, right? We obviously you pick a florist because you've seen their work, or they've made a presentation that you really liked, or they come really well recommended, which was all three from your perspective, if I remember correctly. But for me, it's about the relationship that you build with your florist. It has to be a two-way communication. I can't be just saying, because I'm the GM, I only want purple flowers all year round. I need to be sensible and know that that's not possible, but also allow you the creative freedom. And why we hired you is to have that creative freedom of make my lobbies look pretty, make my executive lounge look pretty, make all the floors look pretty. So I think it's all about communication and building a relationship with each other on a professional level. Absolutely.
I completely agree. I know one of the things I talk about with florists who are considering becoming hotel florists is it's all about the relationship. Pick up the phone, sit down with your client, have the conversation. If they say big or tall, what does that necessarily mean? We need measurements. We need to understand what the expectations are so that we can deliver it. And that goes on both sides. So if, like you said, if you have the expectation of always having purple flowers, but myself as a florist knows that that's actually not possible, then that's something I need to communicate, but also give you alternatives so that we can meet somewhere in the middle. So I love that you bring up straight off the bat relationship, because actually, I think it's a key in the hospitality industry, our relationships.
We're in the hospitality industry. It's about taking care of people, not just customers, but also vendors and staff and associates, and it's all encompassing. Absolutely.
So when it comes to flowers in the hotel lobby, why do you think hotel flowers or the lobby flowers are so important?
It's first impression. Besides the valet, it's when you open the doors to a hotel, when you come into the lobby, it's a sense of arrival for me. And it's part of, it needs to speak to the identity of your hotel. We are obviously a JW. We are not cookie cutter. Every JW is a little bit different of how they look and the feel of every hotel. We are obviously downtown Houston. We are urban. There's a lot of metals in it. So we're a bit more modern. So you want your flowers to be a representation of that. I just don't want, let's do sunflowers. Again, I don't want sunflowers all year long, because it wouldn't match what we're trying to do. So it has to be seasonal. It has to match and seamlessly blend with what you're trying to do in your lobby. And your lobby is an extension of your arrival experience, I think.
I agree. And one thing I always harp on is you need to either keep it somewhat authentically local and or have a reflection of what's already in the lobby. So as we're recording this is in February, and actually we have installed metal stands. There are bronze metal stands in the lobby because there is a lot of metal already in that whole space. And we did a more contemporary look for Valentine's Day featuring all red. But as we're getting into March, we will completely change the design. But again, we want it to be complementary to the space, the brand, and the location of the hotel.
And I think February, it's any month, but I think February specific, the way you describe that now is it's a true representation of the month, the location, and our hotel specifically. So I think it really works this month. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was very fun to create it. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. What's one thing you're a very unique guest in the sense that you don't come from the floral industry. You actually come from the hospitality industry. You live and breathe it. You've been a general manager for several years. What is one thing that you wish you knew when you began your career?
That's a very good question. I would have liked to say be more open-minded earlier on. I come from a culinary background, and that was always going to be, that is my career, that is my focus, that's what I'm going to concentrate on. And then life happens, things get thrown at you, and situations come up, and it forwarded me into this path of becoming a general manager for JW Hotel, which, if I'm not saying that I would have done it earlier, but be more open-minded, where before in my career it was all about, I just want to be the best chef that I can be, and it's all about the food, and it's all about the product, the presentation, where there's a lot more that comes with it, right? Once you get into that too, okay, you got to manage your checkbook, you got to manage more staff, you got to deal with the city, you have to deal more with guests directly. So I wish I was more open-minded to anybody in any industry. I think if you're passionate, that will go a long way, but just be open-minded to taking bits and pieces. And a hotel is a perfect environment for that, you're surrounded by all these other people that are passionate about what they're doing, even if it's in accounting, but those people are the best at what they do in an accounting world. And if you can pick pieces from that, I think I wish I would have known that a little bit earlier. That would have been nice. But no regret.
I think we can all relate to that, though, being very, I don't want to say close-minded, but very focused on one particular goal, or like you said, achievement, being the best chef that I could be, that we sometimes lose sight of all the other bits of information that cross our path that actually make us more well-rounded and better professionals, and also in our personal life.
Yeah.
You mentioned something at the beginning of this show that I thought was really interesting, that the florist is the one vendor that's very unique compared to the other vendors that you work with. What is really important to you when it comes to your florist? What are you looking for when you're hiring that florist? How do they make your job easier?
It's exactly that last part you say. And there's probably general managers that are either more involved or less involved than me. I like to think that I'm pretty even keeled. I'm sure you could speak of that. It's about involvement of it's making the general managers' lives easy. I think 99% of general managers, they do not come from a floral background. That doesn't mean that it's on the back of their mind or that it's not important, but I want to surround myself with specialists. I don't know everything. I don't know everything that's going on, or I'm not a specialist in every branch of the hotel. So I want to be able to surround myself. I want to be able to go to you and say, hey, it's spring, maybe we go this color. Hey, we're doing something with the lobby and it's an activation, or I saw this, is this possible? And again, it's about that communication. But in my specific, and for our hotel, I want to give it away to somebody who knows better than me, that I can take points off and say, hey, Jelle, maybe we shouldn't do this. Or how about next month, I want to try something like this. Or this is the reason why I use more vases versus not vases. Or it's a cylinder type of vase that we need to get in because that's now trendy and I want to be on. It's those types of things. I'm not, as you know, I'm not the one every week that's going to say, I want this flower or that flower, because I want to surround myself. That's why we got you, because you're the specialist and I trust you enough after 4 years that, okay, this will get done correctly. So that, for me, that's what stands out.
I think that's key. I'm always trying to encourage not only our students in the Hotel Florist Profit Method course, but also just my fellow colleagues in the floral industry, that the number one thing is you really have to take care of people in the hospitality industry. Their job is to take care of their guests, and it is our job as a vendor to take care of them as our clients. And we do that by making their jobs easier. So where they don't have to worry if we're going to show up, they don't have to worry if the flowers are going to die, they don't have to worry about us not being on brand standard, and also being industry disruptors and maybe doing something a little bit more unique than what guests would typically see in a hotel, something that their guests are going to notice, especially in the day of like social media, where you want people to pull out their phones and tag where they are or take pictures with their loved ones. And if you already give them a backdrop, then it's free marketing for the hotel. And that's why it's so important to take care of our clients, but also just make their lives much easier.
Absolutely.
I have one more question for you, Jelle, before I let you go, because I know you're extremely busy. When, let's say, a florist is considering approaching a hotel to pitch their services, what would be your advice to them from a general manager's perspective?
it would be prepared. And a lot of florists and a lot of vendors would come to us and in general, right? And hey, I have a proposition. I can send you an email. I don't mind if it's a presentation that you give me a video. I don't mind if you give me a flip book with pictures. Obviously, floral industry is something very visual. So I need to be able to see it. Obviously, a decision like picking a floral person or a floral contract is not going to happen overnight, right? This is about contract. We're talking 12-month period, 24-month periods, what is involved, what is brand standards. So there's a lot of involvement, but be prepared in the sense of, at the end of the day, a lot of it will come down to budget. What is the hotel willing to pay for it? And what is the price of the florist? And being able to talk to that upfront and not be shy about, hey, oh, I got to get back to that, or let me reconfigure that. If you know where you need to be and having a ballpark figure, and you can have that conversation early on. You don't go five conversations in, and then all of a sudden you get to the price. And the hotel managers and companies, we're obviously trying to look for the best deal out there, whatever's possible.
Sure.
But we also understand that you're going to have to pay for quality. If I want quality, that there's a certain price attached to that. I just don't want to feel like I'm being dragged over hot coals to trying to get what I'm trying to achieve for my lobby. So it's just being prepared all around. Again, it's not just I can make these flowers, or I have done this wedding, or I can do this installation, but it's also the business plan behind it and being able to talk to and being able to negotiate. Most of the time, these hotels as managers or ownerships, they'll be able to negotiate. If you say, look, where do you need to be? What is your ceiling? What is your bottom? What can I provide as a florist within that range? And maybe we take something away, or maybe I'll add something. And it's what do you put on your room service trays? What do you put on each floor? Do you have an executive lounge? Do you have a spa that needs a weekly bouquet or something like that? So there's a lot of flexibility in there, but being able to talk to it and not be pushy. That would be my other thing. It's not being pushy. No, you can follow up with somebody. You can follow up with a hotel and say, hey, we talked last week. Just want to follow up. Where are you? Try to set timelines with a hotel manager, a general manager, an ownership entity, and say, okay, when can we get back on the table? Maybe your contract doesn't run out for 6 months. Let me know when that is. And a month in advance, you got to keep track of that. Obviously, that's where the hard work and the legwork comes in. Is let me reach out to you then. Hey, we spoke 5 months ago. You mentioned that in March, maybe your contract is running out. Here is my proposal again. And if people, we will shop around for all vendors, right?
Sure.
We'll shop around and vendors come to us. And if you're at the right time, at the right place, like, okay, I am looking for a new florist vendor, and all of a sudden I got 3 contracts in front of me, which one will make more sense for me as a hotel person? So.
And also it goes back to the whole relationships that we talked about at the beginning of the call as well. I encourage a lot of florists that just because you inquire the first time and the opportunity is not there, like I think it took me a year to actually finally come on board. But this is a great opportunity to start that relationship. Like, do you actually even want to work with this hotel? Do you get along with management? And like you said, it's not about being pushy. It's about being detailed. It's about showing up from a place of service. So if the hotel is telling you check back in 6 months, you're not sending a repeat email every single month following up. You're following up in 6 months with an actual proposal. You've already done your due diligence. Again, it's providing less work for you. So I find that advice is really beneficial. I just think it helps coming from someone such as yourself.
Making sure that they go through the logistics of, are they able to service that hotel, right? What is the location? How many people will it take to set up? Do you have that availability? And those are more on the floral side that I don't know, but your refrigeration the day before, when do you get your floor? There's a lot that goes involved with it, right? So. Yeah,
I agree. Well, Jelle, thank you so much for your time today. Before I let you go, there's one fun question that I want to ask you because I'm just curious.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with hotels or flowers, but if animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
The rudest? There's a movie. I don't know if I can say the movie, but with this, there's a tree in the movie that speaks and a little animal that speaks with the movie, and it's a Marvel comic, I think. That he's definitely the rudest. But if you've got real animals. Good question. Let's go with honey badgers. I think a honey badger would be rude. I think a honey badger would talk back to you. I think he'd be rude.
I agree. I feel like he would stand his ground. I feel like he's going to be really hard on his boundaries.
Absolutely.
Jelle, thank you so much for your time today. Where can people find you?
We are downtown Houston on Main Street. There's obviously 2 JWs in Houston. We are the 806 Main Street location, right on the main line, the train line. Lots to do downtown. We are connected to the tunnels. They can find us on Facebook, on the Marriott website as well. Just type in JW Marriott Houston Downtown. We will pop up anywhere and everywhere. So love to see you all.
Perfect. And are you doing anything regarding staycations at this time? Do you have any staycation packages for local Houstonians?
Absolutely. There's always staycation packages available, especially with COVID times. Unfortunately, we have to amp that up a little bit. But I would suggest people always look on JW Marriott Houston.com or just on Marriott.com and then find JW Houston Downtown and look at the packages. And there's always something fun, from Netflix packages to spa packages. We have it all. So come and see us.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Jelle.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.